Hello and welcome to V8 Online's live and exclusive coverage of the iRacing.com's V8 Supercars official online series. Proudly brought to you by our good friends at V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, over around V8's online superstore. Stephen Samman Clark and the host chair, and joining me as always, my good friend Leo Gray. Leo, how are you, mate?
Doing very well, thank you, Sam, man. Looking forward to tonight's race, as we always are, and it's going to be a good one tonight for sure.
Yeah, tonight's round coming from Road Atlanta. The guys have got 35 laps to tackle, and of course we get to play with pit stops. So really looking forward to it. Round 4 of the championship, and the big question to ask now is, can anyone stop Madison down?
It's the repeat of what we saw at the beginning of last season, except replace Josh Muggleton with Madison down. Except the difference is that Mads is going to have a full championship run this season. So it's a pretty terrifying thought for the rest of the other drivers out there when you've got a Madison down in form like this. But I'm sure every single one of them out there is going to be keen to do something about it.
It's funny how you said, you know, the tables have turned a little bit. It was Muggleton doing it all last season. Now it's down, and well, they're pretty much left off from where they were last week, because currently Madison down sitting in pole position before we head into final qualifying. So he's had a good start to the week. His times have been pretty good, and his laps around at Road Atlanta have been great. So I think the guys have really got to pull their finger out, and hopefully someone might be able to make an attack here in this final qualifying session.
It's a tricky little track, this one, Road Atlanta, and as we saw last week, this grid isn't set because anything can happen in this last 20 minutes. It can even happen after the flag. Madison down, of course, took pole position from George Maris on the final lap of qualifying at Watkins Glen last week. It's going to be a session we're going to have to follow all the way to the end because it's going to be an exciting one for sure.
Interesting layout too. Great little racetrack, plenty of undulations and some tight little turns here. And as always, we'll do a hot lap preview. And tonight from 4 Motorsports, we've got Mitch McLeod. Mitch, how you going, mate?
Good, thanks. How are you guys going?
Good, buddy. How's preparation been going leading up to Road Atlanta?
Pretty average, actually. I haven't done too many laps this week, but I've always gone well around the here. So, and Madison's actually got an awesome setup, best setup I've driven in a few weeks. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and yeah, just interesting to see how the race setup goes.
Well, mate, you got everything pointing in the right direction. If you've got good help there from Madison down, he seems to be doing everything right so far this season. So I guess you've already got that under your collar. So if you can make that work, you should be on for a good result tonight.
Yeah, but I've had the same setups as him for the last couple of seasons, and it doesn't show. So yeah, he's obviously got something that I don't, and I think there might be a little bit of raw talent. So we'll see what I can do about it.
Now, I know you're coming towards the end of your lap, but just quickly, do you like this joint? What are your thoughts on Road Atlanta?
Yeah, absolutely love it. I almost won my second ever race in my own team here, so I've won a few here before. I think I'm probably still up there in the world records, but yeah, no, it's one of those awesome tracks. It's always on the limit. It's great fun.
All right, mate, well, you're coming into the lap now. We'll hand it over to you, and you can tell us just how it's done around Road Atlanta.
Oh yeah, so it's always a difficult start to the lap because it's over all those bumps. It always gets really loose. Got to try and hold it flat around that corner, which it's always on the limit there. Going into turn 1, it's really hard to get the nose pointed in here because it's all off camber and it's undulating. And it's also hard to get the power down because you can easily put a wheel off there and loop it into the fence. Change down in third for this blind right-hander. Try and keep the speed up through here as much as you can to get a good run down through these S's. Again, all blind corners, lots of understeer there. Just hit the curb there. Try and get the power down over these bumps again, which I've done badly this time around. Now it's up into the 5th down here just for a brief second. Back down into 3rd into this. Nicely cambered here. You can usually carry a lot of speed into there. Slide it right up for this sharp right-hander onto the back straight. Try and get lots of drive onto the here because it makes or breaks your qualifying time. Now it's just nice bit of a rest, up through the gears, try and catch a bit of a draft through qualifying if you can, or even in the race. Nice passing opportunity up the end of the straight here. Looking down this hill, braking down into 3rd. Just clip that corner as much as you can so you don't get a 1X. And then slowly put the power on over these bumps. Oh, car spinning in front of me. Keep the boot into it, clip the curb. Hang the back out a little bit and that's a lap.
Nice job, mate. It's a tricky part to that last section, isn't it, of the racetrack where you come into the start-finish line because like you said, you got that little left-right chicane, then up over the crest, and it's all about trying to get the power down.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're trying to start a qualifying lap, you're obviously trying to get as much, like the best run into the main straight as you can. And you can easily ruin your lap before you start it, so then you've got to do another slow out lap and make sure you get everything right again and try again. So that's definitely a challenging track.
A good start to qualifying too, mate, before we head into the final session. Sitting 6 on the timesheets, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I really didn't expect that this week. I always aim for top 10, usually am around 10th at the moment, but yeah, 6 is not too bad, and I reckon I could get into about 4th, so if I put the lap together, it's there, but we've just got to do it.
Oh, that's good, mate. You poached the next question off me, so that's good. I was going to say we're only about 5 minutes away, and you think there's a little bit more in it, so that's good news.
Yeah, there's definitely more time in the setup, as Madison's shown that. I'm, nearly 8/10 off him at the moment, so yeah, there's time in it. Just got to find it somehow. All
right, mate. Like I said, we're not too far away from final qualifying. We'll let you get away from us, and you can get your head focused and everything sorted for final qualifying, mate. All the best, and fingers crossed we're talking to you with some happy results at the end of the night.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, guys. Hopefully I'll see you on the podium.
Cheers, mate. All the best for the race. So there you go. That's how it's done around Road Atlanta. He makes it look so easy, but if anyone who's driven these things around Road Atlanta, the cars are almost awful when you're trying to, well, depending, I guess, what sort of setup you got underneath you, but when you're trying to get that power down underneath the bridge towards the end of the track, end of the lap, it's a tricky bit of road.
Yeah, it's an exciting joint, and a bit of an interesting tidbit for everyone out there. This place has actually got a higher average speed than Mount Panorama, so think about that for a second.
There you go. One thing I did like with Mitch mentioning that back straightaway, it's a nice chance to sneak a bit of a draft. It'd be interesting to see if teammates work together, because it could be quite a nice little advantage to have a couple of tenths in your back pocket, just slipstreaming someone in qualifying.
Yeah, we've seen a number of times in the past just how big a difference that can make, not just at Road Atlanta, but other tracks as well, because that's a huge, huge portion of the lap. And when it comes race time, it's going to be critical for setting up passing zones.
Like we touched on, it's round 4 of the championship, and yeah, Madison Down sort of starting to run away with the championship at the moment, but I don't know, I think tonight may be the night. Although he's qualified pretty well, there's so many unknowns, and it's a tricky little pit lane entry which can catch some people out, which could make things a little bit exciting.
That's it. Big difference from last week, of course. Watkins Glen was a sprint race, no pit stops there, but things are going to be different tonight. It's going to be a different opportunity for people to make up ground with these pit stops, and it's something that a lot of the drivers enjoy, and of course we certainly love here. It just adds a complete new dynamic to the race.
And best bit, it keeps our man, our Reece Gardner in the pits, keeps him a little bit busy too, so we like that. So we'll have a look at the championship standings now as they stand. It's Madison Down, of course, out in front over his teammate Josh Muggleton. Nice run there from George Maris, currently in 3rd place. Then we've got Justin Ruggiero in 4th, John Emerson in 5th, Bo Cattell in 6th, Chad Chastain, great run from him, in 7th place at the moment, Tobias Zerni in 8th, Samuel Collins in 9th, and rounding out your 10 is Scott Uren.
All about those Tats cars at the moment, but there's a lot of guys that are hot on the heels trying to make something happen there. Maris is the big standout in 3rd position. Had a brilliant start to the season. A lot of podiums in there to start with. You got a lot of the ANZ boys that are closing up to the top 10, or the top half of the top 10. John Emerson, very strong in 5th. He was a big standout last season as well. And I don't think we've seen the total challenge that we can expect from some of these guys throughout the rest of the season, because I somehow get the feeling it's not going to be Tats all the way home. There's at least 1 or 2 out there that are going to have something to say about it by the time this season's over.
That's exactly right. That's what happened last season, isn't it? You know, we saw Muggleton run away with it at the start, and then of course, the other guys stepped up the form and came good towards the end of the season, which was great.
That's it. And we're coming into that final qualifying session now. See the diversity of the teams that are up at the top. Madison Down and Josh Muggleton 1-2 for Tats.com, but the times are pretty close. Richard Hampstead for TTL, just a shade behind Muggleton there. Emerson as well, his teammate in 4th. Lee Ellis sits there in 5th for TTR. Mitch McLeod, we spoke to earlier, for 4 Motorsports in position 6. Jared Philsell Bo Cattell, Scott Uren for ANZ, 7, 8th and 9th, and James McKnight, very strong position 10 for Team SDC Motorsport.
Of course, a couple of noticeables there. We're missing the likes of Justin Ruggier. And, of course, George Maris isn't inside the top 10 there. So that's quite interesting. We're hearing reports that we think Ruggier is going to miss tonight's round. But no George Maris, so that's interesting as well.
Yeah, that's it. Drivers, of course, 8 weeks got to run to complete a full season here. It's a 12-week season, but your best of 8 rounds count. So this doesn't mean anything for his title chances. He's got to make sure he completes those 8 races, and that'll put him up top somewhere towards the end of it, he hopes.
So we're not all that far away. We're just waiting for final qualifying to boot up. About a minute's time or so. So it's going to be interesting. I do love qualifying, this last-ditch effort where everyone sort of has that last chance to have a crack at pole. But like you mentioned earlier, it's not too far from the unknown. We recently always see, someone sort of snatching pole in the dying seconds on the last lap, and that sort of adds a little bit of interest to qualifying, especially when you take into consideration you've got other people around the world in the European continents that are taking part as well. So always interesting, and it's never over till obviously the checkered flag comes out.
And the thing I like as well is that every single driver that takes part in this series, they are ultra competitive. They all want to win. They all want to be on top. So when you see someone like Madison Down go on a streak of 3 poles and 3 wins, it just provides motivation and drive for him to push that little bit harder, step up, and try and take the challenge to those Tats cars. And I think that makes for great racing, to see them all just fighting so hard to overcome this challenge.
So we're just waiting for final pictures to come through here at Road Atlanta. 35 laps is a nice little race distance around here too. So the guys are going to have their work cut up for them. I love how pit strategy comes into this. And of course, like I already touched on, the pit entry is a little bit tricky. Probably not as tricky as the likes of Oran Park, but it definitely does get your attention. And the last thing you want to do is shoot in too hot on that little entrance coming down that downhill, because if you touch the grass and get it wrong, you're either going to miss the pits altogether or make hard contact with the pit lane wall. And we've seen that in a couple of our championship races where some of the front runners have had a good chance of winning the race and taking themselves out with contact to that concrete wall.
That's right. Ruggier had dramas at Brands Hatch, and I do recall the last time we were at Road Atlanta, there was a car that was in the fence heading into the pits. So it's a bit easier to do than you would think. These guys are good, but that pit entrance is pretty tough.
So Josh Muggleton, man on screen, him and his teammate, they're owning qualifying at the moment, but there's a little bit of a margin, 20.5 for Down and 20.7 for Muggleton. So a couple of tenths up his sleeve, but it's nice and close there. Hampstead, don't rule him out. There's literally nothing in it for them. So I reckon Hampstead might be the quiet achiever here. You never know.
Speaking of Richard Hampstead, you can see him coming down through this section. Very, very fast stretch of road. We've seen in the past just how critical these curbs are. Going to be interesting to watch how the cars are set up, whether people are using curbs or staying off of them. Hampstead's taking a lot on the exit. And I love the way this track has all these ups and downs heading into these crucial double right-handers. This sets up your run down the back straight. Going to keep it nice and tidy for this final one. A lot of off-camber sections through here. And now begins that long run down to the chicane.
Yeah, love it. It's a real racer's racetrack, isn't it? So many different undulations and fast sections of this racetrack. Hasn't got any draft there, which that may change a little bit later on, but he's got a nice exit down that back straight as he comes into the chicane. Car looks fairly tidy though, so he's definitely on it.
Here's that run through the bridge. Car gets light coming over the hill. You've got to set yourself up for this fast right-hander to end the lap. Hampstead is nice and tidy. Crosses the line, and he must have grabbed an off-track in there somewhere because I haven't got a time.
No time for me either. That's a bit of a shame, but never mind. Still plenty of time. These guys have got 20 minutes in this session. Well, so that is about 16 minutes left now. So still plenty of time to shoot back in the pits and have another crack.
Josh Muggleton from Tats.com having a run down this back straight. Got a TTR teammate in front of him, but perhaps a bit too far up the road to step the draft. heading down now into that braking zone for the chicane. This is where you see most of the passing happening. But of course, if you're strong under brakes, you can defend there. Side by side through this section down to the final corner is something hairy that the drivers don't like seeing, but I'll tell you what, we enjoy it.
Nice and easy up here in the commentary box. It's a quick outlap. It looks like, yeah, that might have been a quick outlap.
Yeah, interesting to see the way that drivers perhaps have different approaches to this qualifying. Mitch McLeod was talking about slow outlaps before, and Josh Muggleton is doing the exact opposite of that, using a lot of curb through this SS section.
Yeah, the car seems to be handling the curbs quite well. I know you've got quite a setup underneath here that can sort of cost you a bit of grief, but a lot of time to be made through this racetrack if you can get the car to set up nicely on curbs, and I think that's exactly what he's got underneath him for the moment.
Braking zone of that corner there is just a little bit uphill. This one as well, uphill braking, but at the apex the track just seems to fall away. Very easy to light the rear tyres on exit. Of
course, so crucial to get a nice run out of that turn too. You're on this this back straightaway for such a long time, so crucially you carry all that speed, so you want to get the best run you can out of that last turn. Looks like he's done a pretty good job of it. Can't look quite tidy turning in, so doing a good job as he comes into the chicane again. Bounce off over the curbs. His fastest time for the week is 20.794.
21.3 first lap out for Josh Muggleton, puts him in position 2 for the session. Of course, still a long way to go. It looks like he's has a big slide heading up the hill. I was going to say he was continuing on pretty quick, it seemed. Bo Cattell and George Harris on the screen here. And they've also got Marlon McMullen for company too, so 3 cars in the line heading down the back straight. Harris leads the train.
Interesting to see what Maris can do in this session. Like I said a little bit earlier, it's a little bit strange to see him outside of the top 10 at the moment, so looks like he's lost a little bit of ground there. That tag pest management car made up ground, so he just moved straight out of the way. So Bo, let's see what sort of time he can come in across the line, and looks like he might have didn't get a time there, Regis.
It's very easy to nab an off track on that final turn. There's a bit of curving there, but if you overstep the mark, it will cost you a lap. Here's our current pole sitter coming down the hill to the final turn. Madison down. Top of the time sheets with 1 minute 20.575. You know, he's turned 3 consecutive laps in a row to start this session. There's a chance he could be doing a bit of a race simulation here, get a bit of extra practice in before the beginning of tonight's event.
Oh, well, if that's the case, let's check out his teammate Lee Ellis back here in the TTR Home Simulator. Looks like there's a track got his hands, so that could cost him a little bit. They do their best to move out of the way, which is good sportsmanship there, but I think he's got on board, unfortunately. Yeah,
very tough at that point of track. It's actually a blind run to that corner of the hill. If you see an onboard shot, it can spook you quite a bit because it's super fast and you can't actually spot the apex of the corner. Got Scotty Uren for ANZ, tag best management on screen, coming through the final turn. Leading a lap at 1:21.592. Not quite the best there for Scott Uren. He's currently 9th with a 21.2. Straight back out he goes for another. This run up the hill, look at this. Can't see anything of the corner. Nail the brakes. There's the curb at the last minute. And Marlon McMullen riding on board the Powerbond car, taking a bit of curb through there. Car's looking pretty good through this section actually, but you see just how much you have to be on it. Millimetre perfect through that left, right run, because the corners all flow. power bond. Mullen's European teammate Tobias Cerny with the Sierra has jumped up the timesheets for personal best in the 1:21.39. It could put him 12th on the timesheets. So great work for the power bond boys. Look at how long the braking zone is into this corner. You can take quite a lot of curb through this chicane section. And once again, blind over the hill. Look at the opposite lock he's got on. Working the wheel like you wouldn't believe. Still sliding.
Oh, we crossed the line. Yeah, but 21.885 for that lap.
Hairy lap there for Marlon, but an exciting one to ride on board for.
You're not wrong about that. Hearing that Hampstead just missed out on his personal best that lap, 20.907, so fastest for this session.
He's the first man into the 20s, so that bodes well for the final 10 minutes of this session, showing that there's still time out there to be had. McLeod jumps to second with a 21.1.
You just have a look at that McLeod time. He's actually gone, he's PB'd.
It is, very slightly so.
Yeah, just by a fraction.
Also for the watch now, Sean Kelly crossed the line. He had a big toe down the back straight from a teammate, 21.348 for Kelly. And I believe that is a personal best. So drivers moving up and down there. Sean Kelly putting himself up to about position number 10. He should be happy with that. Straight back out to see if there's any more left in it. Still see drivers circulating out there. Quite a bit of traffic around this racetrack.
Yeah, the guys know they're running out of time. 8.5 minutes left in this session. If we check out Michael Schreier. He stands on that brake pedal. See the nose dip down. Looks like the car looks pretty good through that back chicane underneath the Suzuki bridge. Comes across the start-finish line in a light up the times. Was it a 1:22.305? So not quite his PB.
His best for the session's a 22.2, and that is his best time for the week for Michael Schreier.
There's plenty of time left in the track. There's a couple of people making improvements, and you said with Hampstead, he's not far off his PB there as well. So still some pace left in this racetrack, which is good.
The thing that makes it a difficult place to qualify at is that so much of it is just how bold are you feeling when you head into those corners that are blind, that need to be linked together like that. You probably feel a bit of temptation just to push a bit further because you're wondering if just how far can you go. It can be pretty hard to feel wrong. Traffic out there, a lot of drivers on out laps. Trying to find people that are on a hot lap for you. Muggleton, man on screen at the moment though, takes a lot of curve heading down through the S. It's a beautiful piece of racetrack.
It's really good when you get that racetrack right. It's very frustrating, I know personally. You don't quite get it right, the car's not set up for the next corner, but when you see it and you're just clipping the curbs either side, running through there as quick as you can, it's a good feeling.
The whole place has got a lovely flow to it, this road Atlanta. So when you get it right, it just feels like everything links together and it all makes sense. But on the flip side, if you get one corner wrong, you can mess up about 3 or 4 in the road before you get it back.
Maybe what happened to Muggleton as he aborts that lap. Looks like everyone's sort of sorting themselves out without laps at the moment. We've got 16 minutes left in this session. I apologise. 16 minutes, nearly 16 complete, 5 minutes to go. Just looking at a bit of a train of ANZ and ANZ cars and Ford in there as well, heading down the back straight. Very drafted a little bit, although you can tell got a tow from his teammate
Jared Philsell, who just steps aside. Big Bo going to run into the chicane. Bo hasn't actually set a time in this session, but he's position number 8 on the timesheets at 21.2. Saw him make his debut on the podium a few weeks ago at Brands Hatch, and he crosses the line. I think he was an off track there at the end. Hearing that would have been a personal best as well, so yeah, it doesn't get much closer than that. Another forward and off track.
Speaking of PBs, I think Ian Ford got himself a PB there with a 21.774.
Yeah, that's right. And then up a bit on the grid. Now we are at the final 5 minutes of this qualifying session. You can always feel at this point that it starts to pick up. Drivers are pushing on if they mess up a lap here and there. And you start to see big trains forming. Man running on his own there, Richard Hampstead, for a bit of clean air to put a lap together.
It's interesting you say that too. It's probably not as much teamwork, well, he's going to abort that lap, but not as much teamwork as I would have expected in this final qualifying, especially down that back straight.
Yeah, that ANZ train was the first one that I've really picked up on. Haven't really seen guys trying it, but that might tell you that there's time to be had at other parts of the racetrack than just the back straight.
I haven't got the rest of the time sheet, but obviously George Maris has punched out a 21.375.
Best for the week's at 21.320, position 11 for Maris.
There you go.
So how close do you want to be? Achingly close. It's got to be so frustrating as a driver. A lot of drivers circulating out there. Muggleton through the final turn. Nice bit of curve there, crosses the line 21.69. So it seems that some guys are having a bit of a hard time putting together a complete lap. That's only the second time lap ones in this session. Off track's very easy to come by around here, and that is your worst ending in the qualifying session.
Man on the screen, Sean Kelly, the TTR Hype Simulator coming down into the last turn. Nice little grab of the curve there on the inside with 21.203, so a nice little PB there for Sean Kelly.
That's going to move Kelly deep inside the top 10. He was previously sitting around 12-13. By my count, that could have moved him up to position number 8.
Fantastic. That's a nice little pickup in the dying minutes of qualifying. Now the man on screen, Carwin May. Nice little exit there, doesn't get too much wheel spin, gets the power down nicely. He's going to carry that speed all the way down this long back straight. See what it must feel like forever when you see coming out that last turn when you're on the throttle, you're just thinking, oh, how long is this going to go for? But nice little chance for these guys just to grab a little bit of rest and stretch the fingers out a little bit and get themselves ready for the next part of the racetrack.
Breaking down from 275 odd kilometres an hour down to 100 k's for that chicane. It's a big stop. It's one of the key parts of this racetrack. Through the final turn comes Carwin May. Grabs just the right bit of curving there, crosses the line for a 22.3. And have a look, I do believe that is a personal best for Carwin.
Check out on screen, looks like the first couple of sectors for Richard Hampstead have been pretty good. Section to contend with, and of course we've spoken about just how tricky it is this final turn. The car really wants to break loose on you. That little bit of curve on the inside, that's nice. He runs on with a 20.883.
Very close, very close. Hampstead the fast man of this session, and of course the closest to challenging those Tatscott cars. McLeod we mentioned as well, position 6 for the week with a 21.1. He has actually set a PB this session, but it hasn't moved him up the sheets though. Don't want to change that.
does the confidence a world of good when these guys, can punch out those sort of numbers in final qualifying when they're so close to a race start. They know that the consistency's there in the car, and they can feel it as a driver. They know they know what they've got underneath them. So although we'd like to be a lot quicker, those consistencies. And mate, when you're this close to race start, that's a good feeling to have underneath you.
Which has got Ian Ford in tow behind. Coming down to this long back straight, I'm sure that Ian and the Darrell Lee car is going to be keen to get any sort of sniff he can, but Mitch McLeod pulls off the road.
Oh, Ian would be spewing.
Might follow Ian Ford down this long back straightaway. Nudging on 275 kilometres an hour. And of course the way that it curves around to the right in the braking zone, ooh, a bit of a wiggle there for Ian. Does set it up as one of the prime passing opportunities of this track.
So final time through the last turn. He crosses the line, punches out a 1:21.947.
Not quite a PB for Ian Ford. Lee Ellis coming through the chicane as well. Ellis is strong, haven't yet mentioned him yet. Position 5 on the charts, 21.05. Anytime starting the top 5 in this field has got to be a good feeling. He's going to cross the line, 21.039. That's a PB. Hasn't moved him up though. Emerson's on a 21.034.
Yeah, how close to an 034 to an 039? Far out. There's only a couple of drivers out there. Looks like Maris is just finishing his lap. Down is still, looks like going to practice pit entry there.
Yeah, good opportunity to see just how tight it is. Nearly sliding it out. Into the pits, Madison Down goes. Going to complete the session. Madison Down remains our pole sitter for the week.
Quickly have a look at qualifying as it stands in this session. Of course, things will change when we look at the overall view of it. But for this session, Richard Hampstead fastest over Lee Ellis in second, Jared Filsell in third. Mitch McLeod, good run for him in fourth. In fifth, at Sean Kelly. Sixth, Madison Down. Seventh, George Maris. In eighth place, Josh Muggleton. Ninth place, Scott Uren. And in 10th is Marlon McMullen.
Ian Ford, position number 11 for the session. Michael Schreier in 12th. Jake Burton, position 13. Carwin May, 14th. Kurt Stenberg, 15th. Martin Carroll, 16th. Richard Arlwood, 17th. Mark Peter Dean in 18th. Corey Preston, 19th. And Greg Sharp, position 20, rounds out the drivers who set a time.
All right, well, that'll about wrap things up here for final qualifying. So we're not too far away from round 4 here at Road Atlanta for the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. We're going to take a short break here at V8's Online, but make sure you stick around and we'll bring you all the action live and exclusive here at V8's Online for round 4, the iRacing.com V8 Supercars official online series.
There's a little bit of contact there from Scott. He muscles his way past.
Contact.
Look at back.
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello and welcome to V8 Online's live and exclusive coverage of the iRacing.com's V8 Supercars official online series. We couldn't all do it without our good friends at V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and of course our very own V8 Online Superstore. Stephen Sandman Clark in the host chair, and joining me as always, Leo Gray. Leo, how are you, mate?
Very excited once again, Sandman. 35 laps at Road Atlanta. It's race time. Bring it on.
Love Road Atlanta. 35 laps, like you said. Then we get to throw in a bit of pit stops, and of course that brings us to our next person in the commentary box, our very own Reece Gardner. Thanks to Astro Gaming Headsets. How are you, Reece?
Not too bad, Sam, man. Yeah, it's I've been really looking forward to this race the last couple of weeks. Road Atlanta is a personal favourite track of mine, and you know, it gets even better with pit stops, which is where I come in. Of course, I'll be bringing you guys all the news that I can from the pits as the race goes on, and yeah, I've got a little bit of information concerning the pit strategy for the race as it stands right now. We've got a very broad pit window for this race. We'll see guys probably pitting as early as lap 12 or 13. Some guys might even go as early as lap 10 if they're feeling lucky. And latest you can possibly pit would be around lap 23 or 24. But if you do, you'll be cutting it really fine. We got about 30 litres of fuel, somewhere in that range, and 4 tyres that guys will be taking at their pit stops.
We're interested to hearing how early some of these guys are thinking about pit stops. It's a long way to go on tyres towards the end of the race.
Yeah, certainly, but I think we'll expect the majority of guys to come in around lap 16 to lap 18, so keep an eye out for guys coming in around that time.
All right, Reece, as always, we look forward to catching you up with a little bit more goss a little bit later, mate, so make sure you have your oranges, get ready to run up and down pit lane, and we'll talk to you later on.
Yeah, definitely. I'll see you guys in the race.
Cheers, mate. Leo, I think it's got the makings of a great race. We've already seen how close it is in qualifying, but can anyone stop Madison Down?
That's the question that a lot of guys are wanting to try and answer. Of course, Madison Down is the form man, but you've got to think, is Muggleton going to be content to play tail gunner? And is there anyone else back there that's going to come through and spoil the Tats.com party?
I guess time will tell. Plenty of unknowns in this race, and of course, like we said, with pit stops, it's a tricky pit entry too, because you know, you have a look at it. It's a downhill section. If you carry too much speed and touch that grass, you could find yourself a passenger before you know it. And of course, the last thing you want to do is make heavy contact with that pit lane wall.
Yeah, that's caught a number of drivers out in the past. Some big name drivers too. So don't think that you're immune from it. But that's going to be a critical part of tonight's race. Starters, how good is Road Atlanta? It's an historic circuit, 4.08 kilometres, 12 turns, and speeds reaching up to 275 kilometres an hour. Average speed here, very, very high, about 182 kilometres an hour average speed, quicker than Mount Panorama. Great place to race at.
Not wrong. I love that back section too. Such a long straightaway. It can really mix things up, especially in the start of this race when these cars are all bunched up, because that hole that these guys punch over the draft and that, it's really a nice little advantage. So if you find yourself tucked up behind a couple of cars and got a bit of a train going, you carry some serious speed and hopefully make some positions before that braking zone.
Now, we saw final qualifying session. We know that Madison Down is the pole sitter, but running through the starting grid, 21 drivers taking to the field tonight. Madison Down on pole with a 1 minute 20.575. Alongside him is his teammate Josh Muggleton, 120.794. Richard Hampstead P3, Lee Ellis in 4th, Jared Filsell up to 5th, Mitch McLeod in 6th, Sean Kelly 7th, Bo Cattell 8th, Scott Uren in 9th, and James McKnight in position 10.
A little bit further down the grid than we're used to. George Maris in 11th place, Tobias Zerni in 12th, Marlon McMullen in 13th, Corey Preston in 14th, Ian Ford in 15th, Kurt Stenberg in 16th place, Samuel Collins in 17th, Michael Schreier in 18th, Michael Hookshire in 19th, and Jake Burton in 20th, and Dean O'Brien who will be in 21st, who hasn't quite punched out of time there.
Going to be a strong field, 35 laps, going to be a tight race. Pit stops there to mix things up, and it's got all the makings of something exciting tonight. Road Atlanta plus V8 Supercars equals awesome.
You're not wrong there. It's going to be an interesting drag race. Well, we say it each and every week, but it's a tight little right-handed, these guys. It's not much of a charge once they get green. The guys will get themselves sorted out, but then once you've got that right-hander to contend with, there's a couple other turns after that to keep them quite busy. So the guys got to be very careful not to make much contact through there, and it's going to be a fair bit of side-by-side action, so it could be hold your breath time at the start.
Yeah, side-by-side through those early laps is a guarantee, but it's going to be very difficult to make your way through there. A lot of blind corners, a lot of ups and downs, and it's awesome to watch. I tell you what, side-by-side at Road Atlanta is pretty exciting.
All right, Leo, give us some news we all want to hear, mate. Someone going to stop Madison down, especially this Tats.com 1-2 freight train. Can we get someone to stop it? Will it end tonight?
I tell you what, man, I reckon that Muggo's got to be hungry. He's been runner-up a couple of times now. We know that he doesn't like doing that too often. But you got Hampstead come along tonight as well. He's always strong. But maybe someone else out of left field. With pit stops and Road Atlanta, anything can happen. I don't want to put any money on it at all.
It's a tough one, isn't it? I reckon Hammer would be pretty keen to stop that Tats.com 1-2. I might put a little bit of $5 on the side and see if Hammer can do the job.
Yeah, we know that he's been strong here in the past, and position 3, that's a good place to be to start this race, right up behind Madison Down. Drivers putting up now, getting ready to go racing.
Ref rise here in Road Atlanta. We're here for round 4 of the race. Series. And we're underway. Good start from the front row. It's going to be a drag race for the Tats boys, but look at Hampstead. He's got the bit between his teeth, thinks about thread in the middle, backs out of it, smart move, and just tucks in underneath.
They almost went 3 wide there. Look at Ellis side by side with Hampstead as well. Tats.com still side by side heading up the blind hill. Oh, they're going to make side by side contact, are they, over the crest?
Got to be careful. That's the last thing they need to do. They don't need to race themselves this early. They need to give up track position, get single file, and just to be smart about it. These guys have got to run now. But look at Hampstead. That was a great start. Side by side action there with TTR teammate. Who was that? That was Lee Ellis back there. So good little run for them. But Hampstead's pretty keen to get the job done.
I told you that Muggo was going to be hungry. Madison Down had to shut the door on it pretty hard. Muggleton's still right up close behind him, heading down this back straight. Down runs a little bit wide. They're going to be side by side. There's an overlap. Madison Down gets the run though. Oh geez, Muggleton got the draft heading down into this braking zone. We could see an overtake on here. He's right up under the rear wing of that Falcon.
Oh, look at the pace he's got. He has to go around the outside if he's going to get the job done. Carries that speed, but look at Hampstead. He's going to go through by. Thinks about it, but does smart option. Tucks back in, but the Tats boys are going to run side by side. Got to be careful. They don't want to get contact. Hampstead will get an inside run here if these guys aren't careful.
They're going to be side by side over the hill. You can't run too wide through the last corner. Hampstead's going to have a massive run here on these 2 Tats cars down the front straight. Look at Ellis as well. Ellis is the fastest of all 4 of these guys.
He's going to get down. He's thinking about getting Muggleton at the same time. Nice move from Hampstead. Oh, they're side by side now. They've got to be careful. We saw how easy it was just to touch. They don't need to make contact. It's a very tight section through here.
Muggleton to the lead. Muggo leads. Down second. Richard Hampstead third, but these positions could change at any minute. Ellis still there in 4th. This is an epic fight at the front of the field. Told you they'd be hungry. It's really showing.
Not wrong. Loving the pace out of Hampstead in these early laps. The last thing you want to do is let these guys get away. They've got just the tiniest of margins, and of course he knows he's got pace on board, just needs to be smart about it and not worry about too much about how the race unfolds, because we've also got pit stops that'll come into play.
You see just how tight Madison Down is up on the rear of his teammate heading into those tight right-handers. Madison Down's not going to be happy about running second. He's going to be fighting hard. He's going to want this lead back.
Oh, now Down's going to think about the inside move here. Look at him go.
Now that's actually the same position on the road that Muggleton was able to get the position, but he's going to get a strong run out of it, and they might run side by side once again. Under the grid, Down closes the door, shuts that line off. It's, Muggleton now with a run onto the front straight. It's back and forth between these guys. He pokes the nose out of the draft, thinks about a move to turn 1, although you can't really do much there. Back up the hill we go once more. Madison Down leads.
such a huge advantage to get a toe down that back straight. You can see these guys, they know that toe is huge, and all they need to do is set themselves, get the car in the right position, get a good run out of that last turn, and we've seen the positions change over the last 2 laps. So let's see what happens as they come towards that part of the racetrack. Muggleton probably just a little bit behind down. He needs to be probably just a fraction closer, but he's got a couple of more turns before he gets to the back straightaway. So down, over Muggleton, into this final turn. Let's see what sort of run he can get this time. He's had great pace. And of course, back behind there a little bit further, Hampstead needs to make sure that he doesn't let Lee Ellis get in the toe. Ellis knows there's a bit of a game there he can carry into this turn.
And Ellis has been looking racy behind these guys. If they get side by side, you lose a hell of a lot of time. It's exactly what Hampstead and Ellis are going to want to see. They're ready to take advantage if anything goes wrong with these Tats cars.
How's that late fake there too from Muggleton? He wasn't close enough, but he just had a little bit of a dive just to think about. Looks like there's action here between Bo Patel, Scott Uran, George Maris.
Still plenty happening back in the field. The action's been so tight at the front. Whoa, still too wide action heading back the front straight. Like one of the Powerbond cars sliding through there. Maris putting a lot of pressure on one of the tag cars as well. Intense motor racing. I love this place. It's clear.
These guys grabbing a bit of curve there. The car's just getting a little bit sideways. Nice bit of driving by these guys. And of course, Maris right there, back there in the thick of things in 9th place. He's got a tag pest management 3-car train in front of him.
Yeah, he's hunting down Scott Uren. We'll have a look out the windscreen of Maris, and it's going to be a pretty intimidating view because he's got tag all over the front of this car. He's going to try and set himself up for a big overtake down into the braking zone. Huge train of cars here.
Can he get advantage from that draft? He's probably just a little bit further back than what he needs to be. Doesn't look like he's making much of a gain here.
It's a tight braking zone though, very, very long there on the brakes. But this is a huge train. As soon as these guys get side by side, it's just going to slow everything down. Now, even though these guys are ahead of Maris and teammates, they can't afford to...
oh, we got a big accident there! Muggleton!
In the fence, he's gone. Didn't catch how that happened. We're going to try and find out right away. We'll show you on a replay as soon as we can find it. But Josh Muggleton is in the fence on the final turn.
Check out the action here on our race recall replay. All action coming into the final turn. Looks like he's just touched the grass with the left rear and that spun him round. Unbelievable. How lucky was Hampstead not to get involved?
Oh, it's monster stuff. Looks like Ellis was very close to getting by there at the same time, but game-changing stuff right there. Muggleton in the fence. He's running in the last position right now. Heartbreak for Josh Muggleton.
We'll check out another replay on our race recall replay. That's a game changer because it was really between him and Down. They started to open up a little bit of a margin between Ellis and Hampstead, but as that's all starting to play out now, there is a nice healthy margin. And of course, Hampstead's got to worry about Lee Ellis as these guys start to go side by side down the back straight.
That's it. It's a 2.5 second gap now. Madison Down's topic. We've got 2 cars side by side behind him. Lee Ellis trying to put the move on Hampstead. Hampstead holds the inside. Going to make Ellis go the long way, but he shuts the door on him.
Smart bit of driving there, Hampstead. He had the ideal line coming into the turn, but wow, that really mixes things up. A nice margin for Madison Down over 2nd place, Richard Hampstead. Lee Ellis in 3rd place, Jared Philsell in 4th, Mitch McLeod, nice run from him in 5th. 6th place, C. Scott Uren. 7th place, George Maris. In 8th, Sean Kelly. In 9th, Tobias Zerny. And in rounding out the 10 is James McKnight.
Yeah, been a lot happening in just the last couple of laps. Geez, back behind there for about the top half. 13th there were 3 wide heading into turn 1. Mullen in the Powerbond car and one of the Darrell Lee cars. They were side by side into turn 1. It's tough to do, but there's action everywhere you look here.
Now, of course, if you're new to the iRacing series, don't forget it's not game over for Muggleton. Of course, he's not having the best of nights tonight. He was sitting 2nd place in the championship, but it doesn't cost him big time. He's still got a couple of mulligans, I guess you could call them, where he can use this round as a drop round. So it's not over championship-wise, but it sort of does use one of his cards, which is unfortunate. And the last thing you want to see is an incident, but especially so early on in the race.
We've seen how intense the fighting is here. There's a huge, huge train from Jared Filsell on back. That's 4th down to about 9th, pretty well running nose to tail. And not much of a gap forwards to Lee Ellis and Richard Hampstead. They are still fighting hard. Filsell in there, Mitchell McLeod's got your end, Maris as well. Sean Kelly on the back of the train. Big, big pack of cars.
Looks like the guys are just sort of grabbing their composure a little bit now. It's only lap 7 to 35, and of course, like we keep saying, pit stops, pit stops, pit stops. So they know they've got to think about things, and you know, that'll all play out as we start to talk about pit stops. We'll cross to our man Reece Gardner. Thanks, Astro Gaming Headsets.
Yeah, guys, I got a couple of bits of news on Marlon and Josh Muggleton. Marlon, I don't know if you guys caught it in the broadcast, but he got a slowdown. I think it was lap 1, and he found himself with a massive disadvantage early on in the race. He was quite angry listening to him in team speak, but he seems to have calmed down a little bit now and is just trying to work his way back up. But because of the disadvantage that he had put himself in, we're expecting him to hit a little bit early. I can't give you an exact number, but I'll be keeping an eye out for him, possibly coming into the pits. And well, poor Josh Muggleton. I saw that incident unfold, and TTR Spy Guy directly afterwards told me that Muggo said that's all over, in his words.
Yeah, certainly a game changer. Thanks, Reece. I look forward to catch up to you a little bit later on. So looking forward to seeing how all these pit stops play out. But check out the margin up front. 3.2 seconds. Madison Downs got over Richard Hampstead.
Yeah, you've seen these guys fighting hard behind him, and he's known that that's the opportunity. It's just put the head down, turned out some very, very quick laps as Madison down, and he just continues to open up that gap. The guys behind him certainly aren't settled in where they are. They're still going to be fighting hard, and each time they do, that just tips things just that little bit more in the favour of the leader of the race.
There's nothing in it to these probably what second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth place. There's literally nothing in it. So a little bit of a whoopsie by any of these guys in the top 7 could be a massive game.
Yeah, it didn't take long for the gap between Ellis and Filsell to close up. Of course, how hard those guys were fighting meant that the tag car was always going to catch up there. But Filsell's got Mitch McLeod for company as well. Great shot from this chopper heading down the back straight too. Really shows how it winds down. Not quite as straight as some of them are, but big, big dive under brakes. Here we go.
These guys getting into a bit of a rhythm. It's like him said, just a half-second margin there over Ellis, and the same again back to Filsell. But these guys just need to think about what sort of race is going to unfold for them. Of course, they'll think about pit stops. Some of them thinking about very early stops too. So interested to hear that from some of the drivers, because I don't know if I want to be on old tyres towards the end of this race and go a long distance. But different setups may suit that style. It'll be interesting to see how that all unfolds.
Yeah, there's going to be guys looking for an opportunity to make up for disappointing beginning laps. Hearing that Bo Cattell also had dramas in the early stages. He looked at some point, perhaps through contact. We didn't catch it on the broadcast, apologies for that, but he's now down in 17th. We saw Cattell use an early stop to his advantage a bit earlier in the season. We know he's good on fuel, so hey, could be one to watch.
Yeah, not wrong.
Oh, Maris and who's that side by side? Maris and Scott Uran, bit of door-to-door contact. That's going to give Sean Kelly a run down the back straight.
I was going to say, yeah, Sean would love to see what all happened in front of him, because he'll carry that speed all the way down into the braking zone. That'll be a position gain, or maybe not. Now these guys are going to go side by side.
You can reach out to touch the door handle of the other car. Oh, Kelly grabbed a bit of grass on the way in, and he's off the road. Going to rejoin, but that will cost him a big amount of time. Probably going to have to slow down and give up a bit of time there as well. Now continues on with it. So Maris barged his way through and up to 6th, but what's up with Richard Hammer? Hammer with problems.
Oh, I wonder if he got a slowdown, because he's given up a heck of a lot of pace. So I'm just going to check out, was it the last turn maybe?
I'm trying to find it myself. I can't quite tell what he's done. All looks pretty normal for me. But somewhere along the way, Richard Hampstead's found himself in a big part of trouble.
Just get to check out the race recall replay. I think the chicane just coming into the underneath the Suzuki bridge. He grabbed a lot of curb on that left turn in, and I think that's where he's had to give up the time, unfortunately.
So he's dropped now down to 5th, and he's got a very hungry George Maris behind him. We saw that Maris isn't afraid to barge his way on through from the position, so Hampstead's going to have to keep his wits about him, because we know Maris has got pace. There we go, that moves Lee Ellis up into position number 2. 3.5 seconds behind Madison down, but great run for the hyperstimulator Ford.
Because it works nicely to Down's favour, because that's just a little bit more of a margin he'll open up with him slowing down. It's I'm just trying to wait for the times to reset and see what it's at.
Hampstead
5
pits.
seconds.
Hampstead into the pits, first one to blink. Dawn Kelly joins it. So these guys obviously looking for some way to make up ground. Bo Cattell joins as well from the back of the pack. This is obviously a bit of a gamble. We're hearing, you know, lap 11 might be about as early as you can stretch it. And these guys looking for some way to make up some of the ground that they've lost earlier.
Wow, it's a brave move, isn't it? But exactly what you said, if these guys find themselves probably a little bit further back in the pack where they want to, go for that early pit stop, and let's see how it unfolds. These guys have got plenty of clear air. As you see, Hampstead is he'll get underway now.
Very quick stop by Sean Kelly. It was a 13.9 second stop for Kelly compared to a 15.6 for Hampstead. Bo Cattell's still in the pits, so I think that a 20.2 second stop. I think that he may have had a bit of damage, hearing that it might have been a bit of contact earlier in the race that put Bo down the order.
So the way it all plays out now, it's Madison down over Lee Ellis, Jared Filsell in 3rd, Mitch McLeod 4th, George Maris 5th, Scott Uren 6th, Tobias Azun in 7th, James McKnight in 8th, Arian Ford in 9th, and Corey Preston in 10th.
Ellis and McLeod into the pits. That's going to move Jared Filsell into 2nd. He was looking very racy on the back of Lee Ellis there. But Ellis and McLeod next to in on this lap. Filsell continues, Maris continues, Uren and Cerny continue as well. So this is going to give the race a big shake-up as these different strategies unfold. Some people making up time earlier on fresh tyres. Some may want to play it a little bit safe and then run hard to the finish, because if you're going to be fuel saving, that's something you might have to do if you're cutting it this close.
Interested to see how Ellis and McLeod, how they come out as far as where Hampstead is. Because you can see Ellis is underway. Mitch McLeod's still there. Richard Hampstead now coming around the final turn.
Very, very close out of the pits. Ellis actually in front there. So, but if you look at, if you think about how far back Hampstead was when they made the pit stop, he's made up a big chunk of ground, and he's all over the back of the TTR car, heading down through the S's, putting constant pressure on the back of Lee Ellis.
We'll get a chance. We'll talk to Reece Gardner in the pits thanks to Astro Gaming Headsets.
Yeah, guys, I've just had a small chat to representatives from 2 of the top teams. TTR Spy Guy has told me that Madison is confident that he will still be ahead of Richard Hampstead, so he's not going to pit anytime soon to cover him. But I did hear from Matthew Hill from TTR that Richard Hampstead is planning on quote-unquote going nuts. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, love it, love it.
Have a look at Hampstead at the moment. He's certainly giving it his best shot. Big dive under brakes, but Ellis is holding strong. Oh! They make contact through the chicane, and Hampstead has to yield. He's going to try and make a run back over the bridge, but Ellis covers that position. That was an intense little bit of a battle there as well.
You're not wrong. They were so lucky they didn't come unstuck there. He's heard Hammer's ready. He's going for it. He's thinking about a move up the inside of Ellis. Has he got the car position? He's got the nose alongside. A little bit of nose-tail contact. They've done a good job. They both held on to it. Nice bit of racing here between Hampstead and Ellis.
Oh, Ellis is doing his very, very best to hold on. He's placing that car in just the right position to hold on with some strong defence. But I tell you what, Hampstead racing very hard at the moment.
I think Hampstead, all he needs to do is just get a run, get a nice run through these turns.
There it is. He had a strong run out of that corner, but nowhere really capitalised on it just yet. These right-handers are critical.
He'll set him up for the back straight. I think we can smell it.
Hampstead looks much tighter on his turn-ins. He's much more consistent through the corners. And this right here is the long drag down to that chicane. Prime passing opportunity. But we saw Ellis hold off last time they were here. It's going to be a replay once more. Let's see how it turns out this time.
He's going the long way round. Hampstead on Ellis. Now they're going to be side by side coming into the braking zone. Has he got enough? Will Ellis hold position? Ellis has got his note alongside. Side by side. Oh, contact! He's run wide. He's pushed Hampstead off. And now there's more contact. Ellis is gone.
They made side-by-side contact, pushed Hammer off the road, and on the rejoin, he clouded the rear of that TTR Ford. Ellis loops it and takes the worst of it. He's dropped way back.
Check out the race recall replay. It all happened into the braking zone. Just a little bit of contact there. And then, of course, on the rejoin, that contact sent Ellis round. So the big loser out of that, he's lost about 3 or 4 spots.
It looks to me like Ellis might have just overshot himself on that inside line because there was no way he was going to make the corner. It's just slight contact. It tipped Hammer off into the grass, and on the rejoin, out into the side there. Ellis around.
Grass back, cross to Reese in the pits, thanks to Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, as Madison down pits, I was also hearing from ANZ, Scott Uren, currently running third, will be second once he passes Madison down in the pits. He's being told that he's going to have to run qualifying laps.
Oh, okay, thanks, Reese. This is all starting to unfold. Gotta love pit stops.
Yeah, certainly. I'm absolutely enjoying this.
Now that's going to put Jared Philsell to the lead of the race at the moment. Madison down in the pits. Scott Uren through to second. They're going to have to see where it all shakes out when Madison down comes out here. Jason McKnight in the pits this lap as well.
So Madison down, he's underway. His pit stop's done and dusted.
Going to be very interesting to see who ends up behind Madison down, but I think he's going to have a bit of a margin with all the biff and barge that was going on behind there. Looks like Sean Kelly is going to come out effective second. Great run there for Sean.
And third for the moment, the way it's all starting to unfold, Mitch McLeod. So, wow, this has been an interesting turn of events now. Our pit stops are starting to shake it up.
Fourth and fifth on the road right now. Still yet to pit though. Ian Ford has position number 4. Corey Preston, position 5 there. These guys look like they're having a bit of a dice. Preston with a run heading towards the brake zone. A bit far out to make a move, but he thinks about it. Tucks in behind the Synergy Sim Racing Falcon.
Love how he's moving around in the mirrors though. Just letting Ian Ford know that he's there and he's thinking about it. Still, they're not going to pit this time bound, so...
Yeah, these guys will be pitting soon though, and if you can make a bit of a move before the pit stop, that'll be to your advantage. Cerny into the pits.
So how's all this going to unfold? Tobias makes his way down pit lane. It's lap 16 of 35, so still a long way to go in this race. Check out the action here. Richard Hampstead, George Maris and Lee Ellis. Now these all in the thick of it. I don't think Hampstead is all that comfortable at the moment because Maris has got a fair bit of speed there and that's really brought Ellis back into the train after that spin.
Oh, imagine if those two get back together again.
Ellis
is having a look at turn 1 on Maris. Oh, leaves him high and wide. Out of the pits comes, is that Marlon McMullen? No,
Tobias Cerny.
Tobias Cerny, they're going to make it difficult for him.
Oh, Ellis! Big slide there from Ellis as he holds on to it in front of those two. Unbelievable. Cross back to Reese, back in the pits, thanks to Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, I'm hearing more and more details coming in from various sources. Apparently, Richard Hampstead's car is damaged. That's why he's a little bit slower than he usually is, and it looks like Lee Ellis is catching back up to him. I can't wait to see how this unfolds.
Oh, thank you, mate. We'll make sure we keep our bad online cameras on this battle because it's certainly going to start to heat up now. If Hammer's car's not all that great, Lee Ellis probably got a little bit of damage from that, but he's definitely got the bit between his teeth.
Corey Preston and Marlon McMullen into the pits. Dan Collins going to follow him in, so pit stops are starting to cycle through. Still a couple of guys out there yet to pit, but someone who I'm very curious to see where he comes out. Jared Philsell was running strong in the top 5 before everyone started the pit. He's turning pretty good laps right now. If those guys back there keep fighting, he might actually be able to jump them all.
Yeah, it might work nicely in his favour.
Also worth pointing out, this is the first broadcast race that Jared Philsell has led, so doing a fine job. seen him join the top splits and make a pretty big impact. So running very strong at this point. Pulling away from second place his teammate to the tone of about 2/10 a lap.
Look at Ellis. Ellis is nearly thinking about a move there to the inside of Hampstead. Hampstead, you can see, struggling with his car. Struggling with a bit of turn in there, so it's understeering a little bit. Of course, Ellis has got to worry about Maris, who's right there too.
It was a pretty tight move to get by Maris before. And Maris having a little bit of a blink, but Tobias Cerny getting involved too. He's probably going to have the best car out of all four of these guys. He's the most recent to pit. He hasn't been involved in the Cliff and Barge that these fellas have. Down the back straight, lap 18 of 35. A couple of guys to cycle through for their pit stops. But this Ellis-Hampstead fight, very keen to see what happens there, as Hampstead doesn't get a very good run through the chicane. Ellis now is going to be on the back of him down into the last corner. Hampstead's car does not look comfortable right now. Ellis is going to be hungry. He wants back from that move at the chicane.
He's thinking about it. Oh, I thought he was going to grab him. That was the same point where he got Maris last time round, so thinks better of it. I think you can see that Hampstead's just struggling with his car a little bit. You can see him grabbing a lot of curb through there.
Yeah, don't want a chance of too much to get yourself an off track. We've seen that's already cost Hampstead a big chunk of time in this race. Here we go, heading down to the double right-handers again. Set yourself up for that long run down this back straight. They're pulling away from Maris and Cerny just a little bit. I think that Ellis is going to be driving very hard at that windscreen, all over the back of Hampstead on the exit of the corner.
How good is it seeing him get on the power, just lighten up the rears a little bit. You see Ellis moving around, trying to grab that draft off Hampstead. You can see he's closing a little bit. Will Ellis think about a move up the inside? He's got position there. He's got the nose alongside. Gets up under brakes. Has he got enough? Hampstead will fight around the outside and just shut the door on him. They're going to run right. Oh, Hampstead's just going to run a little bit wide. And Ellis moves. Nice move around the outside.
Pick up Maris. Maris is all over the back of Hampstead as well now. Beautiful move by Ellis. Hampstead tried his best to stop it from happening, but Ellis just had the car at that point, and he's going to take the position, move on through.
It was good. He set him up and he was patient. That's all he needed to do. He knew that he could see that Hampstead was struggling with his car, and once he got along side by side, it was just a nice bit of driving there. So well done to both of them, actually. Oh, Hammer's had a big moment there. Oh, a little bit of contact. Maris just makes contact, nose to tail there.
Yeah, bit of a hurry up. Hey, I'm here. Keep it going. Maris on the back of Hampstead, and Maris has got Cerny and James McKnight for company as well. He's not going to want to sit around too long behind Hampstead if Hampstead is in a bit of trouble there.
Oh, Tobias was thinking about it. Has Maris gone in too deep? Oh, closed up right in the back of that TTL Falcon. We'll cross back to Reese as all this action unfolds thanks to Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, funny thing is Jared Philsell pits. I was just about to come in to tell you that he was going to pit at this time. I did hear him conferring with Clayton Brooks over the ANZ team radio that he would be planning to pit around lap 20. So it's going to be a dash to the end for Philsell on fresher tyres than most others. And it looks like Scott Uren's coming as well. Yeah,
nice job, mate. Tag Pest Management cars are in. Let's see where they come out as all this starts to unfold. Jared's underway. Let's see what sort of gain he's going to get.
There's a quick stop there, and he's actually going to come out in effective second. Sean Kelly is going to be behind though, but that's a big gap that Philsell's got himself.
Scott Uren will come out, Mitch McLeod in front of him. So yeah, nice little game.
That would be position 5 for Scott Uren. Final driver to pit is Ian Ford. Ian's been running very strong this race too. Interesting to see where he pops out once it's all cycled through. But at the moment, it looks like leader of the race is still going to be Madison Down. He's just kept his head down, turned out some very strong, consistent race laps, and kept himself away from all this trouble. It's been some explosive action everywhere else, and all that's working in favour of the Tats.com number 1.
Been a fantastic 20 laps so far, still 15 to go, and mate, we've seen everything. We've seen some drama, we've seen some carnage, and I love how all these pit stops are starting to unfold, but Oh, big wiggle there from Hempstead down the back straight. Looks like he was just trying to break a bit of toe there and touch a little bit of the grass, so that excited him a little bit. But check out the action back here. Tobias is thinking about a move up the inside of Maris. Can he get the job done? He's alongside. Thank you very much. Nice move there from Tobias Zerny.
Great job there by the Powerbomb car, and he covers the exit. It is possible to have a run back over the hill, but he's done very well there, and Cerny now going to set his sights on the wounded Richard Hampstead.
Check out the race recall replay and the onboard of that move. It's a great move. I don't know if Maris is all that happy with his car at the moment, and he's got to be careful that James McKnight is not too far from him there, and of course that's bringing Corey Preston into the tow as well.
Yeah, quickly turning into a 5-car fight there with these guys. Hampstead clearly not enjoying his car at the moment, and it's bringing these other guys, giving them an opportunity to have a shot at his stranded Falcon.
Checking out this little battle here between Sean Kelly and Mitch McLeod. I think Mitch may be just starting to close that margin on him a little bit.
Hey, look at the effective positions. Mitch was saying in that hot lap of his that he might see us up on the podium. If he takes Kelly, that's position number 3.
He wasn't mucking around, was he? We thought he was trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Oh, well, that means that McLeod's going to be hungry. It's been a while since we've seen him on the podium. He's going to be fighting hard, but I'll tell you what, Sean Kelly's not going to let it go either.
McLeod's done a good job. Check out this action here with Tobias. Just a little bit of a fake. I think he's just thinking about it. He knows he's got a good car. He's got the freshest set of tyres out of these guys too, so he just needs to be patient, and I don't think it'll be too long before he gets Hampstead.
Hampstead did pit very, very early, but the contact earlier on won't be helping his case either. Cerny's car definitely looks very, very good through this quick section of the track.
Tell you what, it's lap 22. I think we were hearing as late as lap 24, so it won't be too much longer before Ian Ford decides to head down pit lane. The last thing you want to do is run out of fuel, but he's a smart man. He'll be all over that. He knows what his fuel numbers are, and I don't think it'll be too much longer before you see him in pit lane.
Going to continue on for another lap as Ian Ford. He's going to begin lap number 23 of 35. That's pretty well about the end of the fuel run, we're told. But Ian Ford's out there leading laps and trying to see if he can jump some of these guys that are fighting hard. Clean traffic can work very well for you.
When we get a chance, we'll cross to our man in the pits, Reece Gardner. Thanks, Astro Gaming Headsets.
Yeah, guys, I've been chatting to the guys at Synergy Sim Racing, whom Ian Ford is driving for, and I've been trying to get some information about them as to when Ian Ford might be pitting, but Andrew Casey, the chief over there, is telling me that Ian is being very vague about when he wants to pit, so I'm keeping an eye on him. So he certainly must be running on fumes right now. I would hedge a bet on him coming in at the end of this lap, but if he stays out any longer, I'm certainly wondering if he's going to last the distance.
Well, fingers crossed they've done their fuel numbers right, and yeah, like I said, we're just going to see if he does fire in this time round. Thanks, Bruce.
No problem.
That last time by, whilst Reece was getting back to us, it was actually Cerny and Hampstead side by side once again in the braking zone to the chicane. So Cerny's pretty serious about getting this moved up.
Hammer. Sorry to cut you off there, Hammer. Just ran a little bit wide. Did a good job actually to keep it on the tarmac.
Ian's in, guys.
So there you go. Ian Ford is ventured down pit lane. He'll get his pit stop over and done with. The last car, I think the last car on the field to make their pit stop.
That's going to cycle everybody through. So the field will be cleansed at the completion of this lap. Madison Down resumes the lead of the race. Phil Sell into second and Sean Kelly rounding up the podium. Kelly's got Mitch McLeod and Scott Urant for company though. Back from that, you've got the fight for the back half of the top 10. Hampstead, Cerny and Maris. It's anyone's game back there.
Just while you were going through all that, looks like Ian Ford just overshot his pit. He had to back up just a fraction, but he's got going again. Looks like he'll bring him out to the back of Corey Preston, possibly.
Won't that be hungry for Ian Ford? He's going to have fresh tyres. These guys have got beaten up race cars. Let's see what Ian Ford can do for the run to the finish. Position number 12 for the Synergy Sim racing car.
It's not a bad game so far. He started in 15th, Ian Ford, so mate, to see how this all unfolds. He's got the fresher tyres, he'll have the bit between his teeth, and mate, this could be a good couple of healthy spots here.
Yeah, he's going to be in position number 6 in this train. That's going to quickly become an 8-car battle as well. Bit further up though, 3-car fight for the podium. Sean Kelly has it. Mitch McLeod and Scott Uren, those two are going to be very, very hungry to try and get the final podium spot.
How's Kelly's form, just moving around, trying to break that draft a little bit there from Mitch McLeod, but Mitch is right there, like I said, a nice little 3-car battle for the last step on the podium.
McLeod's actually looking pretty good at the moment. But Kelly, I think, is going to be fighting right till the very end to hold on to that spot. He's not going to make it easy by any stretch. So McLeod's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to see us on the podium there. But he's going to race very hard.
Well, last lap round, McLeod was a couple of tenths quicker. So Kelly with a 22.5 compared to McLeod's 22.3 and Uren's 22.4.
Look at Ian Ford all over the back of Corey Preston, heading up to the top part of the S's. Big downhill run through here. Ian's car looking very tidy compared to these other Falcons.
Yeah, Ian's got the freshest set of boots there, so what he needs to do is just be smart about it, position his car towards the last turn coming onto the back straight. If he can get a good run out of there, he can get the power down a lot better than these guys because of the fresher rubber. But looks like he's going to make a move up the inside of Maris there. Corey Preston, George Maris now side by side.
Yeah, Ian Ford's going to be licking his chops here. It's exactly what he wants to see. He's going to try and sneak up the inside of Maris.
He'll carry this speed all the way down the back straight. He already grabs Maris, and now he's going to go side by side with Preston. He's on the outside, though. As they come into this braking zone, he's going to be on the wrong part of the racetrack.
With his tyres, though, he's probably going to have just that little bit of extra stopping power that he needs. Preston's going to be fighting very hard to hang on, though. But Ian Ford, 2 spots down to 1 straight. He's got the position.
Nice job, Ian Ford. Can he hold on to it? Doesn't want to cause the crossover there for Preston. Preston can't get the power down, and look at Ian Ford go. So look at Maris has just dropped another spot to, is that Marlon McMullen there? So really struggling with his car, back in 13th place now.
Maris's laps, he's done a 24 and now a 25 last time by, so he's well off the pace. Ian Ford, though, 2 seconds quicker than that. Up into position number 10, got his sights set now on James McKnight. 10 laps to make up 2.8 seconds for Ian Ford. If the guys in front of him start fighting, that probably won't take long. Hampstead still with a wounded car. Tobias Cerny still going to be fighting very hard to take that position. Anything can happen in this final 10 laps.
Tell you what, little battle here at Hampstead and Tobias Cerny. It's a 7th and 8th place. Tobias not quite close enough there to sniff a bit of draft to make the move anyway. Maybe able to close up just a fraction. Oh, how's this battle? Oh, a bit of a moment here. Look at this battle with Uren. He's got sideways. The tag car's just got up the inside of Mitch McLeod there. So Mitch has lost a spot into the braking zone.
That's given Sean Kelly a big bit of breathing room. Uren and McLeod were side by side through the brake zone. Uren lit it up on the exit of the corner and Mitch McLeod nearly looped him trying to avoid him. That separated them from Kelly by about a second. Bring it up on a race recall replay. Beautiful move into the chicane.
A big dive from Scott Uren up at the inside under brakes. That was a huge dive coming all the way back. Lucky not to tag the back of Sean Kelly there, actually, but got the position on Mitch McLeod, and that was a heart and mouth moment there, let me tell you.
He was super committed. Looks to me like he actually grabbed a bit of grass in the part of that chicane, which upset his car. McLeod had to breathe the throttle to avoid running into him, and that moves Scott Uren up to position number 4.
Lap 27 and 35 will quickly run through the order. Madison down over Jared Philsell in 2nd. 3rd place Sean Kelly. 4th place Scott Uren. In 5th Mitch McLeod. In 6th is Lee Ellis. 7th place Richard Hampstead. Tobias Cerny in 8th. James McKnight in 9th. And Ian Ford rounding out your 10.
Now look at all the movers and shakers in the field here. Jared Philsell running position 2. Up 3, he's going to be happy with that. Kelly and Uren have all moved up to positions 2 from their starting spots. Bernie thinking about a move on Hampstead whilst we're talking about this.
Oh, sorry for third place. Sorry, mate. Mitch McLeod, Scott Uran there now having a battle down the front straight. All over the back of Sean Kelly, but now these guys are going to go side by side.
Check it out, McLeod takes the position back. Uran was squeezing down that front straight, but McLeod took it from him pretty stern there. But what I'm interested in is that Kelly hasn't run away from them at all. Even with all that fighting, they're still running quick. Look at the lap times. Kelly did a 24-0 last time by.
Nose to tail underneath the bridge there, but looks like Kelly's just got a little bit of breathing space, but doesn't want to hold off too long because he knows Mitch McLeod's there. He's definitely got the bit between his teeth. Scott, you're in there too, so it's not over for the last step on the podium.
No, I think this is going to be a very, very closely fought battle to the end because they're pretty well right on the back of Kelly already. I'm not sure if Kelly's saving fuel or what his story is. He had a very quick pit stop, but his lap time's just not there compared to the other guys.
Yeah, 24-0 last time round compared to a 22-9 from Mitch McLeod, a 23-1 from Scott Uran.
And that was with some pretty hairy passing moves and all that. Oh,
the inside Mitch McLeod! Long way back, gets the job done. Nice move from McLeod.
Mitch McLeod through into the podium. That was a big, big move into the chicane. Bring it up on a race recall replay, please and thank you. He came from a long way back.
Fantastic. I think he may have got some pointers there from Scott Uran. We saw that a couple of laps ago where Scotty made a big dive, but hey, that puts McLeod on the podium. He said he had a taste for the podium tonight. Look where he is.
Back through the S's they run. This fight's certainly not over. Very eager to follow that to the finish. 7 laps to go.
Well, old Lonely Heart out front. Madison down in the Tats.com Falcon. Got himself an 8.8 second margin over second place Jared Vilsell. Of course, Jared's just got a fair bit of space around him too because that battling pack between Mitch McLeod, Sean Kelly and Scott Uran, probably another further 8 odd seconds back too. So quite evenly split up out the front, but Madison down with a nice bit of clear air around him.
This fight here for the final places in the top 10. Ian Ford driving away from Preston McMullen. Those guys are still fighting hard, however. A bit ahead of that too. Ian Ford's got his sights set on James McKnight. There could be a lot happening around this part of the track in the final stages.
Yeah, look at that margin that Marlon just starts to close up under brakes to the back there of Corey Preston. Through that chicane as they start to come underneath the bridge. He's made up a huge margin. He's thinking about a move up the inside here at the last turn. Dangerous stuff. The last place you want to go is side by side through there.
Whilst that's happening, Sean Kelly has dropped back to position 5. He's lost the spot to Scott Uran. Going to put him in the clutches soon of his teammate Lee Ellis. Kelly, I think, has to be fuel saving or something because he's losing a lot of ground.
Yeah, coming into the braking zone into the last chicane. Just another dive up the inside there. It's by Scott Uran. Yeah, now Ellis is all over the back there, so it's got to be fuel. Might take a chance just to have a listen to Sean Kelly, especially into the braking zone, and see how early he lets off the throttle. No, it didn't sound like too much that he was trying to save fuel there.
Yeah, very odd. But either way, finds himself with a teammate for company, and the podium slipping away. Driver in that podium position, final spot on the podium, Mitch McLeod. Here's a bit of info for you. The last time Mitch McLeod was on a podium, May 13, 2013, so that was back in Season 2, 2013. He finished second, and guess where? Road Atlanta.
There you go. Maybe he's got a bit of a love affair with this place, I don't know, but he's definitely got the goods tonight. He's been fairly happy with his car, and nice little turnout for him with his own team with 4 Motorsports there, and doing a good job.
Now, Kelly had a big wiggle heading on for that short straightaway there, and now his teammate Ellis is all over the back of him.
Yeah, he looks like he's struggling, doesn't he?
Maybe it's tyres or something, because he ran very wide at that point of the track. I don't know what it is, but either way, Kelly's struggling right now. He's going to lose a spot here to his teammate.
Yeah, Lee will get him for sure. Will he cover? Will he think about it? No, Lee's going to have a move up the inside. Definitely carrying a fair bit of space down that back straight. He'll get the job done under brakes here. I don't think there'll be too much of a fight there from his teammate. And straight through, Lee Ellis will grab position.
Going to leave us with 4 laps to go in the race. Madison down, our race leader. Jared Filsell, fantastic drive for second. He hasn't scored a podium yet either. Mitch McLeod in third. Scott Uren fourth. Ellis in fifth. Sean Kelly dropping his way back to 6th. Then we go back to that fight with Hampstead and Cerny. That's still on. James McKnight, position 9, and Ian Ford, fantastic drive back into the top 10.
Oh, I don't want to put the Mozzes. Looks like Mitch might be having a bit of dramas with his internet. Seems to be flashing a fair bit now, and there was only half a second between Mitch and Scott Uren last time round. So Mitch's ping is almost up near the 400s there, so hopefully that settles down a little bit for him. There's only a few laps to go. The last thing you want to do is throw away a podium when you're so close to the end of the race.
Yeah, Scott Uren's definitely got pace here as well. If Mitch McLeod wants this podium, he's going to have his work cut out for him. Because I think that Scotty Uren's going to be just as hungry too.
We've seen some great moves from Scott in this pecking zone. He's been very strong under brakes. Just look at the margin. He starts to close into Mitch there. Oh, all over the back. Oh, I was almost waiting for a bit of nose-to-tail contact there, but Scott's a little bit of distracted
McLeod's
there,
internet,
obviously.
that's always tough as a driver. A car just disappears. You don't know where he is. I think McLeod might be in trouble here. Oh!
That's it. That was net code because McLeod was having all sorts of dramas. Engine's done. That is race over for Mitch McLeod, all just because of internet dramas. We'll check out what we can from the race recall replay. Obviously, no fault of Scott's at all because, mate, he was blinking around and Scott just didn't see him. And then, of course, when he came back on screen, that was Mitch into the fence. So, heartbreaking stuff for Mitch, but absolutely no fault of Scott's there.
Yeah, it was that whole sequence of corners from the chicane on down to the front straight. Absolutely nothing that Scotty could do about that. And unfortunate, it's left Mitch McLeod in the wall. Hopefully no damage on Scott Uren because he's found himself in a podium spot.
Yeah, well, as long as he doesn't carry any damage, like you said, because not far behind him is Lee Ellis. We've only got a couple laps to go now, but Lee would have seen how all that unfolded. And if you can get a big sniff of the draft here, who knows what may unfold in the last couple of laps.
I somehow get the feeling that this third step on the podium still isn't sorted yet because look at how the gap closes up into the chicane.
Of course, this is a nice comeback from Lee Ellis. Of course, we saw that contact earlier where he was actually facing around the wrong way, and now he's got a chance at a possible podium. So, nice bounce back for Lee Ellis in the TTR Hype Simulator Falcon. Is actually a little bit further back for 6th place, Richard Hampstead and Tobias Zerny in 7th, James McKnight 8th, Ian Ford 9th, Roy Preston in 10th and Mullen 11th, but nice and close between all these guys, so this probably isn't all over and done and dusted yet.
It's closed all the way back up again. This is position 6th all the way through to 11th. Just car length separating them. Hampstead slips up or has Cerny get his nose in, he's just going to lose a monster position. He's going to get freight trained back to the bottom half of the top 10.
Just check out this last battle for the podium. Ellis just nice little exit on, just seeing if he's got the draft because he has to go around the outside. Of course, smart move up there from Scott Uren makes him go the long way round, but has he got enough in the braking zone?
Side by side they run, Ellis trying to run him wide. Uren with the preferred line, but he holds
he's going
him
to
out.
run wide. He's up on the grass. There was contact there, so Ellis has lost a spot to his teammate Kelly. Kelly has managed to get past just a little bit of contact on exit with Ellis.
That's going to lead the final lap, last lap of the race. Third position held by Scott Uren. Sean Kelly fourth. Ellis fifth. Those three positions could shuffle anywhere on this final lap.
Quick Michelle race recall replay of that last manoeuvre. Unbelievable. Just that slight little bit of contact just pushed him wide, and he's lost a spot to his teammate. So Kelly would be wrapped. He's managed to get that position of his teammate, but it's not all over just yet.
Oh, look at the way they're throwing it through those S's. Throwing it all out on the table. There's nothing left here. Final lap of the race. We do have to make mention of our race leader, Madison Down. He's 11 seconds clear of second place, Jared Vilsel. Beautiful drive by Madison there, kept his nose clean, heading down into chicane for the last time.
It's been a sensational run for Madison Down. We saw it at Motorsport for round 1, Brands Hatch round 2, Watkins Glen for round 3. It's going to be 4 from 4 from the opening season here in 2014. Madison Down crosses the line in the Tats.com Falcon.
Fourth win in a row for Madison Down. Vilsel going to cross the line and get his first podium. We'll have to have a look at the race here for third because Uren's got it. It looks like he's going to hold on. Got Uren going across the line, position number 3 for tag. Sean Kelly fourth, Leo's fifth. Beautiful fight there, but Hampstead, how's he held on?
Ellis just in the fence there, just trying a little bit hard there, but like you said, Hampstead, nice little wiggle there on exit 2, but manages to hold on for 6th place. Tobias in 7th, James McKnight 8th, Ian Ford 9th, and Marlon McMullen rounding out the 10th.
Wasn't that a remarkable race, Sam, man? Everywhere you looked, there was battles all the way through the field. Guys spinning, guys in the fence, side by side through the S's. Don't know how we got through that one. I wish it was still going. What a race.
You're not wrong, mate. Road Atlanta really turned it on for round 4. The mix of pit stops and great racing, and there was carnage up and down all the field. It happened up the front with Muggleton, and mate, some really good, hard, close racing. It was sensational.
Oh, that's it. There was a lot of give and take happening through the field. Some moves a bit bolder than others, but gee, exciting to watch. Those moves into that chicane are awesome, and I loved all the defensive driving going on there because, gee, I'm still catching my breath. That was great.
The hardlock story's got to go to Mitch McLeod, obviously on target for a podium there, and got caught out with some internet dramas, but we'll check out the man on screen, Madison Down. A start to this season for him in the Tats.com Falcon.
Yeah, 4 wins from 4, exactly the same as we saw Muggo take out at the start of last season. Of course, Josh Muggleton also the heartbreak story of the night because he was on for a podium, possibly even a win. But all it takes is one little mistake and you're gone.
So you can see Madison Down making the most of this victory. 4 wins from 4 starts, great opening of the championship. But it was a great race. He did everything right, and in the end, ended up winning by 10.7 seconds over Jared Vilsel. So it was dominating stuff, but yeah, it could have been a different story if Muggleton had stayed in it. And of course, we saw how everything else unfolded with Richard Hampstead. Plenty of great battles up and down the field. It was sensational. We'll get a chance. We'll run out through our final race results for round 4 here at Road Atlanta. Of course, your winner, Madison Down, in first. Great run for Jared Vilsel in second place. Scott Uren in third. Sean Kelly in fourth. Lee Ellis in fifth place. Richard Hampstead in sixth. Tobias Azerni in seventh. James McKnight in eighth place. Ian Ford in ninth. And in 10th place, Marlon McMullen.
Fantastic run for Corey Preston, finding himself in position 11. George Maris slipped back to 12th there. Kurt Stenberg, 13th. Michael Schreier in 14th. Bo Cattell had a bit of contact early and came home in 15th. Sam Collins, 16th. Jake Burton brought it home 17th. And Michael Fulcher, the final car to finish, position 18. Of course, Mitch McLeod had that internet dramas that we saw. Dean O'Brien had a disqualification from the race due to off-track incidents. And Josh Muggleton in the fence early.
Well, plenty of action here at Road Atlanta. And, of course, now the boys pack up and head to Montreal, where we head to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Really looking forward to that round.
Oh, we've seen some explosive races in the short time that we've had Montreal on the iRacing service. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to it. V8 Supercars and street racing. It just seems to work, doesn't it? And this is the closest thing that we've got. Big curbs, tight walls. It's going to be a ripper of a race.
Of course, everyone will be fired up. Of course, this weekend, the V8 Supercar Series kicks off here in Australia. We head to Clipsal for the Clipsal 500. Really looking forward to that, and of course that'll wet everyone's whistle to get cracking and turn some laps at Montreal. So really should be an absolute pearl. We'll just wait for a couple of drivers to join us here in the commentary box, but I don't know, we thought maybe someone could stop Madison down tonight. Are they going to be able to do it next week?
Well, I tell you what it came down to tonight. I reckon that Madison Down was probably the only driver that didn't make contact with another car tonight. Actually, even though I think about that, he got pretty close with Muggo in the early stages, but from there on, he kept his nose clean. Everybody else was fighting as hard as they were. Awesome to watch, but it just means that the drivers in clean air can just stretch their legs and run away with it.
That's exactly right, and that's the smart thing too. You don't have to be the fastest car in the night, but if you can be clean, it certainly does make your job a lot easier. You know, less mistakes throughout the race, and you know, yeah, it's always good to have a bit of clear air. But it was some good hard racing between teammates there in the opening laps, and of course, we never knew how that was all going to unfold. And of course, different people had different pit strategies, pitting really early. So, mate, if tonight's anything to go by, I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, it was a shuffled top 10 as well. You found Philsell on the podium from 5th, Scott Uren on the podium from 9th. We also had Cerny in 7th from P12, Ian Ford up in the top 10 from 15th. So a lot of movement throughout the field, a lot of passing, a lot of great action. That was a fantastic race.
You're not wrong. We'll start off, as the boys start to join us in the commentary box, we'll start off with our race winner who's making a bit of a habit this season, mate. 4 wins from 4 starts. It was a great race tonight. Well done, Madison Down.
Yeah, thanks, Sandman. It was pretty good tonight. I had a bit of a exciting first lap there, or first few laps with my teammate Muggo, but unfortunate there, he made a mistake, and then something happened to Richard as well, which put him out of it. But in the end, that made it a fairly easy race for me, and they pretty much took themselves out. So yeah, it was just try and lap consistently and not make any mistakes from there. But yeah, great to have a 4th win from 4 starts. Couldn't be happier.
You Tats boys are making a bit of a habit of this. It was pretty much the exact same start for Muggleton last season, and of course you've done it for this season. And you know, we touched on it just before we started talking to you. As far as you know, you don't have to be the fastest car on the night, but if you can you go a race without making mistakes, that certainly does make your job easier.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually happened twice this season as well. Brands Hatch, I had that race as well pretty easily there in round 2, and that was just down to not making any mistakes myself. A lot of other people made mistakes that night, and you know, as a result, it was a relatively easy victory. So, you know, 4 starts, 4 wins, great way to start the championship for the Tats.com team. But yeah, long way to go, obviously, as well. There's still eight rounds left, and a lot can happen in 8 rounds. You know, what's saying that Muggo or Richard or Justin or anyone in the series can't win 4 races in a row from now. So it's not over. There's a long way to go.
And of course, preparations start now for Montreal. We head there for next week. Your thoughts on that race? It's always been it's been a great race for us to watch here from the commentary box, mate. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I am. I haven't had a win there before. I think I've had 2 seconds there so far. So as I've said in the past, it's a really great circuit and street circuit type nature to it. A lot of big curbs. I think it suits the cars quite a bit. It's one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, and yeah, hopefully we can keep this momentum going next week.
Well, all the best, mate. Congratulations on your 4th straight win. Appreciate you stopping by and having a chat to us, mate. But until we talk to you next week, mate, have a good one, and hopefully all testing goes well for next week.
Yeah, thanks, Sandman. Thanks, guys.
Now, joining us in the commentary box is a first-time podium finisher, Jared Philsell, bringing it home in 2nd position, mate. How good's that feel?
Hey, boys. Yeah, that feels pretty good for my first podium, and to step up with Justin and Ren's not showing up this week. So, yeah, good work to Scotty as well to bring it in 3rd.
Yeah, fantastic drive by yourself, mate. Bringing it from 5th on the grid up into 2nd position, ran the long strategy and turned some very clean laps while everybody else was out fighting hard. Really paid off for you. So, fantastic job. And where do you go from here?
Hopefully forward. So I'm going to beat Madison.
That's it, mate. You know, when you're up that high, finding yourself on the podium, it's just got to keep working at it, and it's only going to come soon there. We've seen you join a new team, seen you be very strong, and it's been a very quick learning curve from yourself. How's your confidence feeling at this stage, especially heading into the tough streets of Montreal?
Yeah, I had pretty good pace there last season. think I got taken out, but that wasn't my fault. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to miss Bathurst, unfortunately, so I got to make the most of it next week.
It's a shame, mate, but hey, you enjoy yourself up here on the podium, and we look forward to seeing you up here in the future too.
Cheers, guys.
And of course, the man who finishes out the podium for tonight, great drive from Scott Uran, mate. That battle in the closing laps between yourself, Kelly, and Ellis, that was sensational to watch. And, mate, that thing was pretty strong under brakes.
Yeah, it was pretty dicey in a few areas. Thanks, Sandman and Leo. Yeah, the boys put on a lot of work through the week this week. So, yeah, pretty happy to bring it home, as Jared said, with Justin and Renz out of here. So, yeah, although it'd be good to have them back, it's going to be a bit of luck for me to get up this high, so I'll savour it. It's a great feeling.
Mate, not a bad effort. Just have a look at your qualifying. Started back in 9th place, so probably a little bit further back than you'd like. But, mate, you made the most of it and come home with a podium finish. That's sensational.
Yeah, that's it. As I said, I think last week actually, qualifying's not really my strong suit, but yeah, the guys found a pretty good set, and yeah, there was a few dicey battles into the chicane, especially at the start of the race with George Morris just having a go where he could. So that was all fair, and although there's a few taps, but yeah, so the brakes worked well, and Tag Pest Control car gave us the goods.
Mate, it was sensational to watch in the commentary box, mate. All the best. I guess you start preparing now for Montreal.
As ever, yeah, so we'll see if we can keep these breaks. And I think it's the first time I'll be at Montreal in a proper race, so we'll see how we get on.
Well, fingers crossed that momentum carries on to Montreal, mate. It was to have you up here on the podium, mate. All the best through the week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, mate. Catch you soon.
Now joining us here, another driver involved in that fantastic fight for the final podium spot, Sean Kelly. Thanks for joining us. Mate, that was some exciting racing to close out that race, but didn't look easy.
Yeah, hey guys, yeah, sure wasn't easy. You only had, 15 minutes practice before tonight, and yeah, Grayson Madison and awesome drives by Jared and Scott, and yeah, it was a great battle. I just didn't know where my fuel numbers were at, so
I want to apologise for a break in transmission there. A bit of a technical difficulty, but we're back. We're just having a bit of a chat there to Sean Kelly, brought it home in position 4. Having a nice little chat there whilst the viewers were looking at a blank screen. But fantastic job for yourself there, mate. Exciting racing, isn't it?
yeah, hey guys, yeah, awesome race. Congrats to Madison, Jared and Scott who put on awesome drives, and yeah, after my pit stop I probably short fueled and I miscalculated my numbers and thought I had to save more fuel than I had to, and yeah, sort of put me pretty vulnerable to those guys, and but had a awesome battle, and yeah, had I got my fuel a bit more sorted, it might have been a different story, but yeah, really happy still to come away fourth though.
Yeah, off screen there, you mentioned just how critical preparation is, and so there wasn't a whole lot going into this week. So fantastic job to bring it home in fourth, mate. If you can get your time amongst it, as you said, podium positions are there to be had. So yeah, hoping it all works out for the rest of the season here. Find some time, and we'll see you up there.
Yeah, cheers. I'll just rock up on a few weeks when I've got a spare hour or two, and then hopefully I'll get a few weeks where I can do 4 or 5 hours practice and really prep properly. So yeah, but if not, I'll look forward to watching some of the races.
That's it, mate. It's always great to have you here, so all the best with that.
Cheers, guys.
Now, a man who was in the thick of it pretty much all night, almost a podium there for Lee Ellis, but mate, considering the night you had, I think it was a great result, considering you were backwards there at one stage.
Look, the Hyper Falcon definitely needs a good panel beating there, here and there. It was a bit rough and tumble at times, but yeah, look, should have finished high up. Should have not had a few incidences. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But all in all, it was a decent race. Well done to Madison and Jared and Scott. Just, yeah, a few errors on my part. Can't really do much about it.
Mate, it was a nice bounce back. Like I said, considering you were backwards at one point, facing the wrong way, to be in contention for a podium and then battle it out there with Scott Uran and Sean Kelly was sensational to watch. Bit of a nail biter, I imagine, from the driver's seat.
Oh, yeah, it was the longest race I've ever had, really. It just kept on going on and on and on, and then I realised I was, hang on a minute, could get third back here, but yeah, don't quite know what happened there. Just got a bit of net code and bounced me off and sent Sean go flying by. But oh yeah, not bad. Bring on Montreal. Just keep on going next week.
That's what I was going to say, mate. You can take some positives away from today. It was a good bounce back, and are you looking forward to Montreal? How does that sit on the old favourites list?
Here and there. It's okay, but yeah, yeah.
All right. All right. We'll leave it at that, mate. Good luck for qualifying throughout the week, mate, and we'll talk to you next week.
Cheers, Sam.
We saw a lot of really, really tight racing out there, a lot of biff and barge and door handle to door handle, and a man in the thick of all that as well was Richard Hampstead. Mate, managed to bring a wounded car home in 6th, which is a fantastic effort in itself, but how was it all out there? Looked pretty tough.
Yeah, it was a bit of a exciting race from where I was. Had a great first lap battling with the Tats guys. That was pretty hairy stuff, and unfortunately, Muggo made his mistake. That put me in a good second, but then I stuffed up and got myself a slowdown, which cost me a couple of places. And then we had a bit of a biff and barge with Lee, which damaged my car pretty substantially. And yeah, after that, it was just about trying to. I was in damage limitation mode, so yeah.
Yeah, well, you had a lot of huge pressure from behind, so to bring it home where you were with a wounded car is still a fantastic effort, mate. But great to see you back here with us tonight at Road Atlanta. And
be trying to make as many as I can, so yeah.
Fantastic, mate. Looking forward to it. Hopefully it's a bit cleaner next time.
Hopefully, cheers.
Another driver joining us in the commentary box. Nice bounce back, Tobias Zerny, mate. Started in 12th and brought it home in 7th. So, mate, you made a positive one on this one to make your way up through the field.
Yeah, hello guys. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, because Marlon had the bad start. Mine was pretty average, quite okay. And but at some point of the race, yeah, this was a really tough battle with Hammer in the end and overall. And I was looking the rear mirrors, guys coming close from behind, and I had also the craziest pit and exit directly behind Hammer, Ellis, and Maris, and all rushed beside me in turn 2. Wow, so I'm really, really happy with the result. 7th place could have been the 6th if somehow I would have found the way past Hammer there. But great battle, a lot of respect there, and really looking forward to the next few weeks.
Mate, it was a great battle to watch. You really put on a great show. That's those laps where you and Hammer battling it out. You could see you were pretty keen to get the job done, and it was just great to watch. It was really good racing.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused because I know he's way faster somehow, but I didn't know that he might have damage or whatever, and didn't know how his car behaves at some point, and tried to put some pressure in the chicane to force him to make a mistake there. He once did then, but then his rear stepped out, and I couldn't get through the on the inside because I was afraid that his car will spin in front of me or something. So, but yeah, somehow I got this 7th place by dropping out of Mitchell. So I'm pretty happy, yeah.
And now we head to Montreal, mate. Your thoughts on that place? You looking forward to it?
Definitely. I mean, last season I started pretty good there, so from the grid. The first few laps were not the best then, but looking forward to this being a sprint round here is quite okay. Hope to start in the top 10 and finish in top 10 there.
Well, all the best for preparations this week, mate. We appreciate you stopping by and having a chat, and we look forward to catching up to Montreal.
Yeah, thank you. I'm pretty happy also to hold up the international flag with Renz being not here and Chet not being here. And yeah, I want to give a shout out to my teammates. Did an awesome job, especially Marlon, getting back from the slowdown he had there, from nearly back of the grid to finishing in top 10. And Jake and Stenny did an awesome job as well. And yeah, greetings to Ryan and Power and Daker and all. Pretty happy here.
Nice job, mate. We'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Cheers.
Seems like everybody joining us here and everyone we talked to is in the middle of some huge battle at some point in the race, and a man who had a lot of work out there and put in a fantastic drive Ian Ford started 15th, brought it home in 9th. Mate, you had a lot of work out there, and to bring it home top 10, fantastic job.
Yeah, it was a fantastic night once again for us. Overtaken 6 cars, I believe, as always.
Yeah, fantastic job out there, mate. You ran the long strategy there, maybe kept it out a bit of trouble. When you came out with that huge train in front of you, what were you thinking? Because those guys were racing hard.
I was constantly being yelled at by my pit engineer to tell me what to do and how long to go and stuff. And when the tyres started falling off, I decided to pit, overshot my pits, and when I came out behind the training cars, I was sort of kicking myself because if I didn't overshoot, I would have been clear.
Yeah, it did look like you had the tyres compared to some of those other guys. We saw you make a couple of positions towards the end, though, so it was a great bit of driving from yourself. P9, great to see you in that top 10 again. It's becoming more of a regular thing. And from here, Montreal, you got anything circled there, that the place for you, or where else do we head?
I'm going away for 3 days, so I might not be back for Montreal, so I'll put all effort into Bathurst and see what the boys come up with for Montreal if I do get back in time.
That's it, man. Well, Bathurst is the one we're all looking forward to, so great to see you back for that. Hopefully see you at Montreal, but well done once again, and we'll talk to you then.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, another of the Powerbomb drivers, Marlon McMullen, mate, your teammate touched on some of the dramas you had. Considering everything that went wrong for you tonight, it was probably a nice little bounce back to make the top 10.
Yeah, g'day guys. It wasn't the most ideal start. I mean, made a couple of positions and got a little tap off the track, and for some reason I got the slow down and unfortunately didn't clear for about 20 odd seconds, so I went right back from about, 12th to 21st, so a little bit heated there, a little bit of heat under the collar, so pushed on back, did what I could, and made what I could in the pit stops. Unfortunately, I overshot my marker because Corey was blocking my little pit stall man, so I couldn't exactly see him. And yeah, just bounced back from there on and watched Bo pirouette it off down on the back straight and looked pretty nice. And then caught up to Corey, and then yeah, same thing again. We both overshot our brake markers and we both nearly went flying off. So yeah, very happy to end up with 10th in the end.
We definitely can take some positives away from this round. It's a tricky racetrack, and both you and Tobias ran pretty well. So it sounds like, you guys had a decent setup underneath you, and to bounce back like you did, mate, that's got to sort of put you in good mood for next week.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it puts a spring in our step. I mean, Tobias did very, very well tonight. Kudos to Stenny, and well done the Jag to finally jumping into the top split again. So it's good. We're slowly on the rise. So we'll see what we can do, and we'll take the prize from this week and see how we go at Montreal.
How do you feel about Montreal, mate? Excited, or are you a bit nervous?
Yeah, it's a track that I've always loved. I mean, I love sort of street tracks. They seem to suit me for some odd reason. I don't know if it's the curbs or something. So, yeah, it did well last season there. So we'll see if we can back it up with another top 10, hopefully.
Well, good luck through the week, mate. And we look forward to catching up with you and chatting to you from the streets of Canada.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Another one of the Powerbomb Daco drivers making his way into the box here. Kurt Stenberg started 16th, brought it home in 13th. Strong run for yourself, Kurt, and you're making yourself more of a regular here in this top split broadcast. What's it like to be racing with these guys more frequently now?
Yeah, it's pretty good to be racing up here in the top split. It's something I've been trying to do for a fair while, so I'm happy to finally be able to race against these guys. My race, I'm happy to recover after the start. I kind of got a little balked by whatever happened with Marlon and that, and then I had brake pedal dramas, and I went back to the back, but I managed to come back through the field. People were falling off left, right, and centre, so that was really good from my point of view, but bad luck to them.
Yeah, mate, and of course, having these teammates, there's a lot of momentum to talk around the Powerbomb cars. Marlon, Tobias up there in the top 10. What's it like working with these guys who are, bouncing ideas off of them and helping you sort of make your progression through this top split?
Yeah, Tobias and Marlon have been a really good hand with the strategies and setups and all that kind of stuff. Good to have those two guys on the team.
That's it, mate, and looking forward to seeing more of you in these top split races. So be joining us next week at Montreal.
Definitely. Montreal is a track that I don't mind at all. So it's a bit like the street circuits in Australia. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Sounds good, mate. We'll see you then.
Cheers.
And a man who's joined us in commentary for Roxby, night he'd like to forget pretty quickly, ANZ Motorsport driver Bo Cattell. Bo, mate, started in 8th, brought it home in 15th. Not quite the night you want to remember.
No. I got a couple of positions off the start, and the car was extremely quick. Like I felt like I could have been right up there, and then it was all going well, and I saw Muggo spin, and I had a little smile to myself, and he dropped a wheel on the grass and spun it over the line. So instead of passing him, I ended up in the fence as well. So that was awesome, and yeah.
Well, you did a great job, mate. Looked like the pace was there, and you commented the car was pretty good. So at least you can take some positives away from that.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a bit of a breakthrough in setup this week. It came late, but Scotty came through with the goods, with a good set, and if it wasn't for my lack of talent, I might have been up there.
It hasn't been a bad start to your career at ANZ Motorsports. Of course, your first season with them, and it looks like you're gelling quite well with the boys.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. Absolutely loving it and the opportunities I'm getting. So, as you say, it's only my first season, so if this doesn't completely go to plan, I've always got next one.
Oh, mate, don't worry about the next season. What about next week? We head to Montreal. Your thoughts on that place?
Yeah, I reckon I could probably do a 360 across the start-finish line like I have the last 2 rounds. So keep an eye out for that. Might do 3 for you. But it is a good track. Just got to watch the curbs. And no, I really like it. Lots of opportunities for passing and close racing.
We'll keep it straight. Keep it off the walls. Watch those curbs. And hopefully we'll talk to you in Victory Lane next week.
Hopefully. We'll see. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
And it's always great to have new faces here in the commentary box. We've seen Jake Burton a couple of times in the Prototype GT series driving the Corvette, but joining us tonight, bringing it home 17th for Powerbond in the Big Falcon. How's it out there, Jake?
Hey guys. Wow, what a race. A lot of pressure. First main race top split on a Monday night, and it's just incredible the talent that these guys have, and struggle to keep up at times. So.
Yeah, mate, it's always interesting to jump into the class of field that this is and just see the level of competition raise. And, of course, it's a great thing to help push yourself as a driver too, isn't it? So it's got to be feeling good for you. I'm sure with these teammates that you've got, of course, being part of Powerbond, great advice there. Help you work your way through getting your head around this this monster car, this Falcon. And what do you think? We're going to be seeing more of you here tonight?
I just slipped in tonight, but, you know, I'm hoping to get back into top split more often. Big step up from about 6 months ago when I joined the team. I was crashing in 3rd split, and now finally trying to make my way into top split. And Marlon's always said he wanted 4 cars in top split, so I was happy to provide that tonight, but need to improve my talent a bit more. Talent doesn't quite match up to the I rating, but I'll get there hopefully.
Well, that's it, mate. It's all about laps and practice. Keep working at it, and of course you've got a whole season ahead of you. If you keep at it, as we've seen new drivers joining this top split, no reason why you can't be one of them.
Yeah, I hope so. Very impressive amount of talent in the series, and I hope to get there someday. So,
well, take care, mate. Hopefully we'll be speaking to you again here soon.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I think it just about does it for V8 Online's broadcast. Leo, that was, what a race. I mean, we saw everything. We saw some great action all the way up and down the field. That mixture of pit stops, a little bit of carnage, and anything that didn't change was our race winner.
Oh, it's fantastic. I don't even really know where to start. The first couple of laps there, the fight for the lead was about as intense as we've seen in the recent times. Madison Down didn't have his work, didn't have it all his way at the start there with Hampstead and Muggleton for pressure. Of course, once Muggleton had his incident, it gave down a bit of breathing room, but then the fights throughout the rest of the field. Didn't matter where you looked, if it was for 3rd or 13th, they were all over each other, and it was great to watch, great to be a part of. Can't wait for Montreal now too.
You're not wrong. Bring that on, and good to see a different podium there up the front too. And tell you what, a man who's going to need a little bit of a rest and a lie down is our very own Reece Gardner. Thanks to Astro Gaming headsets. You had your work cut out for you tonight, Tiger.
Oh yeah, certainly. It was it was a really action-filled race tonight, and I mean, it's nice to get a bit of a break every now and then. But I do love doing this, and I would have no qualms if every single race on this calendar was a pit stop race. It's absolutely fantastic.
I couldn't agree with you more there. I love pit stops, as everyone knows. But all right, well, I think we might wrap things up. Big thanks, of course, to Seb behind the scenes, and we do apologise for our little technical difficulties there. But nevertheless, we'll be back next week, and we'll bring you all the action from round 5 of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. Coming to you from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and we'll tackle that race with 20 laps. Can anyone stop Madison down? It'll be a 5-peat if they don't, but fingers crossed. We'll see what the guys have got in store for them through the week. Qualifying will get underway as we start tomorrow, and then, of course, we'll head to Montreal for all the action. It's been a great race. Of course, don't forget iRacing coverage of the NASCAR iRacing Series 2, a great new addition to the V8's online family here. We couldn't be more excited about that. It's been a fantastic series, and look forward to see how that all plays out for the rest of the season. All right, we're going to wrap things up, and of course, we say a big thanks to our friends at V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and of course, our very own V8's online superstore. Your winner for round 4 at Road Atlanta, Madison Dow.